All right, hello, welcome traders. It's Monday, December 9th, 2024, start of another week here in the markets. And man, we opened this week off with a bang, put on a lot of trades today. Actually, for an account that I call the lazy trader, where I really don't want to make a ton of moves, I made a bunch of moves today. So not so lazy today. We're going to cover a lot of those trades with you. I'm going to give you all of the trades that I made today so that you've got some ideas. If you want to use them, great. If not, it's all good. I'm sharing what I'm doing with you as I always do here every single day. All right, so lots of things going on in the markets today. So the markets sold off. S&P pulled back just about a little over a half a percent. Nasdaq down about 0.8%. Russell down 0.7. So a little bit of selling today, not a whole lot. We're going to talk about the charts in just a minute here. We saw kind of a mixed day on the Magnificent Seven stocks. We got into a few things here. We're going to talk about those trades with you today. I'm also going to talk to you how I shorted Palantir today. Yes, everybody's so bullish and thinks it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm telling you, this thing is so overdone. Doesn't mean it can't stay overdone. And for all of you that are in it making piles of money, great for you. I was not in it. Shot up way past what I felt was a reasonable valuation for me. And now with today's gigantic bearish engulfing candle, I'm going to be short for a little bit of time. It's just a trade, not a long-term investment or short. I am both a trader and an investor. You've got to run kind of both mindsets. You don't have to, but I do. So I've got the trading hat on, where I'm trading primarily futures, some short-term stuff, and then I have the investing hat on, where I'm a little longer term on high-quality stocks and ETFs. Both of those things I think help make up a overall really great portfolio. And uh, with a few bumps this year, we still are going to end up with a really, really good year here. Coming down the last couple months here to the finish line, things have been fantastic. So I'm going to share some of the trades, share what we're doing with you out there. We had NVIDIA dropping pretty good today. NVIDIA shares dropped almost 2.5, a little over 2.5%. China's opening an investigation into potential violations of anti-monopoly law for NVIDIA. So that's something that knocked NVIDIA down, which I thought was a great opportunity since I think NVIDIA is pretty well valued right here. So I think it's a good opportunity to get into NVIDIA right here. We also saw Bitcoin dropping a bit from the $100,000 mark as well. That's also giving us an opportunity. I'm going to show how we traded Bitcoin today. We took profits on most of our MicroStrategy naked puts. In fact, we took profits on all of them. I closed out every single naked put on MicroStrategy, all four big winners today. We're going to cover those with you. I'm still in some MicroStrategy trades, so I'll share that with you. So there's a ton to go through. Let me cover it with you and we'll share. I'm going to update my accounts with you as well so you can see what we're doing, see how I'm trading, and I will share, like I said, every one of the trades from today. So stick around and let's take a look at that. I'm going to go through the charts really, really quickly today with you so you get a good sense of what's happening in the market if you were not aware or not in the market all day. We are still in this rising wedge pattern on ES, which is still bullish overall. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher high, and now we'll see what happens. Pretty good downward candle today. Market's moving down a bit. It's all good, primarily, I think, on a lot of the NVIDIA news, but also Meta sold off decently today, and so did Netflix. So some selling there today. The key to watch out for is that we set new all-time highs in here just a day ago. So again, the world is not ending or at all-time highs. This is not a bear market, but starting to see some things rolling over a bit. RSI here on the daily rolling over. MACD rolling over. Stochastic momentum rolling over. All rolling over on the daily. The weekly still looks decent, but you even have a little bit of an RSI rolling over. You got squeeze getting long in the tooth. Yeah, I'm still bullish. I still think we can go higher. I'm just super cautious, not piling any more trades on ES. We went through it with a really good in-depth trade analysis today and came up with lots of trades. ES, though, I'm bullish, but I'm a hold. I'm not adding new trades unless there's kind of the standardized campaign trades. I just think we're a little bit overextended, and a pullback would be nice. Today, not really much of a pullback. So not interested. Let's take a look at oil. Oil back down to this support level around 66, 67 and change. I like oil here. Now, good bounce today. It ran all the way back up to, on the daily here, the 21 EMA and failed. You still have the 13 below the 21, below the 50. So this is still a bearish trend on oil. However, we've been holding this support level now. This is the fourth time we've hit it in a while. And again, if you knock on a door enough times, you may actually get through that door at some point. So if you're trying to barge through that door, maybe it breaks and we go lower. I think we hold here. What I really like is that the stochastic momentum on the weekly and the daily are both oversold. We're in a squeeze, and it looks like a little bit of a reversal on the weekly and a little bit on the daily. But it's sideways action, just continued sideways action. Don't know if the events in Syria and the Middle East, it's just such a mess over there. But we'll see how all of that plays out. Great to see Assad out of Syria. Of course, as with all brutal dictators, they head to Russia. So good riddance to him. However, now you got a wild card because who's actually going to be in control? There's a lot of weapons there. Who's going to control those weapons? So all kinds of crazy stuff happening over there. But we're going to focus on what we see in front of us. And I think oil is a good trade setup here. I think it sets up well for a strangle. The only thing that bothers me from a strangle standpoint is IVR is very low. IVR on oil right now sitting at, well, 16.7, which is up from what it was earlier today. So we've seen a little bit of a tick, a little bit of a bump. And if I look at the OVX here, I mean, it's just down. This oil volatility is as low as I've seen it dating all the way back to July. So we haven't been this low in oil volatility in 11 or in 4 months. And we're I'm kind of back to this 25 bottom almost. Is very low oil volatility. 112 trades been excellent on oil. We've got two of them running on right now. I also think a put credit spread in oil, watching that support level, could be an opportunity for you. So there's a couple trade ideas. Let's jump into bonds here. Bonds with the breakout a couple weeks ago of this value area range. We can probably take that off now. Broke out, came back, tested it, moved up, just sold off a bit today. I think we're in this sideways trend in bonds, and I think we're going to stay there for a while. We keep hanging out right around the 21-day moving average. RSI is flat right in the middle, almost in the 50 range on both. The weekly looks like it's a little oversold and moving higher. The daily looks like it's a little overdone and getting tired. I think this is a perfect strangle setup. We're in a strangle here. I tried to get into another strangle today. It ran for 3 hours. I couldn't get filled. So no fill. I'm not going to chase. I want my price. I want a decent price. Tomorrow's another day, so we'll look at that. All right, let's keep going. Now, metals is where a lot of interesting action is happening. Metals, you got gold breaking out of this descending or this symmetrical triangle slash downtrend line. So gold breaking out a bit today. Gold, silver, copper all moved up nicely today. All gave back some of their gains, but overall looks pretty good. Now the weekly chart on gold looks a tad bearish. The daily chart looks okay, sideways. Okay, I think it's a great strangle opportunity. I also think gold is a great put credit spread opportunity. We got into one today. I'll share that one with you. Copper, same type of thing. Now, China announcing more stimulus. They can stimulate all they want over there. It ain't going to help. Okay, China's a mess. They can't fix it. They can pump all the stimulus they want, but they have a crappy economy, crappy system, crappy government, and it's going to be hard for them to get out of their own way over there. However, you get little pumps like you do here and there from China talking about their stimulus, rattling their swords about NVDA. They can't even get out of their own way. So they're a gigantic mess. And you got Trump heading into town with potential tariffs and carrying his big stick. I think China is a absolute stay away. Don't touch it. Let's see how things unfold. However, you got a little bit of a bump today on copper, just like you did on gold. But copper moving up, I don't think China's going to be buying a boatload of copper with all this stimulus. Maybe they'll buy a little bit, but again, I think they're too big of a mess to help. However, I like where we are in copper. We're in again that symmetrical triangle, but it's overall kind of bearish, the sideways trend on the daily and the weekly. Maybe the daily's starting to pop up a little bit. I would go, put credit spreads here, maybe a strangle, but I think a put credit spread on copper is the way to go. We'll take a look tomorrow. We'll see what copper's doing. I'll probably add something in there tomorrow. All right, silver. Big day today on silver. We have silver put in our investing account. We have poor man's covered calls on silver, and then I also have a strangle on silver. I think again, silver looks good. I think it potentially could be breaking out to the upside, which is not great for a strangle, but I just don't see a huge run on silver. I think continues to move sideways to higher. So put credit spread strangles again on silver. I think good opportunities. The Aussie dollar just keeps moving lower in this channel. I don't love it. It's getting into this oversold range. It might be an opportunity soon. We actually just did a 112 trade, which worked out absolutely perfect with today's move up. We actually got out for a 50% winner. Instead of 90, we got out for a 50% winner on the entire trade in like 2 weeks. So I just took it off today. No sense waiting another 30 days to get my other 40% when I got 50% of it in 2 weeks. So we closed that one out early today. Nothing here to do on 6A. It's a hold for me. NASDAQ, kind of like the S&P. It's a hold for me. Overdone. RTY, I love the pullback. I think this is really interesting. It's a hold for me right now. But if we get a decent bounce off this 21-day moving average, in here like we have had multiple times. Okay, another bit higher high, higher low situation. Let's see where this thing stops and starts to bounce and move its way higher. You got Bollinger Bands contracting, which means we are squeezing a bit on this thing and it could be ready to move. And I'm thinking maybe moving to the upside. So I think we're going to want to be long RTY, but right now it's just a hold. So nothing to do on that. So there's a handful of trades. And then if we take a look, uh, here, Apple, new all-time highs. This thing is just on fire. Microsoft moving up, not new all-time highs, but it's getting a little overstretched and done. Amazon moving to new all-time highs, overstretched as well. Meta moving to new all-time highs last Friday, selling off today. Again, a little overstretched. Google, not near all-time highs, getting ready to break out of this symmetrical triangle. I like Google the best of all of these because it's not at all-time highs and overstretched. I think it has more upside to go. We're long Google with naked puts. NVIDIA, wow, what a big pullback today on that China news. I think this gives you an opportunity. I think it's fairly valued in here. I think anything from here or a little bit lower is a good opportunity, in my opinion, to get long NVIDIA. And we did that today. We'll share the trade with you. Tesla, again, like some of the others here, overbought, overmoved to the upside. Again, we're super cautious but bullish, okay? Which means I'm not really adding new trades on the S&P or the indexes, but I will look at individual stocks to take advantage of it, up or down from a trading standpoint. I think right now you've got to make money while you're getting the opportunity before a sell-off comes or before the markets pull back. This is the opportunity right now, folks. Make the money now while the opportunity and while the iron is hot. Strike for this stuff. And that's what we're doing. We're just booking profits like crazy, hand over fist on these things, okay? Because we want to book as much as we can before the end of the year, before the inauguration, which is where I think maybe we start to see some pullback. Maybe it happens before then, but we'll see what happens. But Tesla, it's a little too far for me. I'd love to see a pullback. I want to get into it. I love this company. I think it's one of the greatest companies out there. I think it's just too richly valued. Hard to get into it right here. All right, Netflix, we're going to ignore. Costco, we're going to ignore, even though, again, new all-time highs on Friday, overbought, starting to pull back. It's all good. Now, this crazy, insane stock, Palantir. Everybody's got YouTube videos out there on Palantir. I would, and more power to you. If you've been in it for a year or so, great. Okay, congratulations. You hit it right. I missed the run. It's had a great run. Okay, Didn't love it. I don't think the value of it is 70 here. I think the value of this thing's in the 20s. Okay, I'll give you 30, maybe. You're sitting at a PE of almost 400. Well, PE may not matter to some of you on a growth stock, okay? But a PE of like 50 or 60 may not matter. A PE of 400 might matter a lot. Okay. This thing jumped this morning on news of like a $40 million contract. This is a multi-billion dollar stock, moved $1 billion today at the open on a $40 million deal. That deal is a drop in the bucket, not really, shouldn't really move the needle on this thing. And I think people realized it. So ran all the way up, touched 80 something today, 80.91, pulled back. We actually went short with a call credit spread here. I think this thing pulls back. It's overdone with some of these others. Let's see how we go. But if you look at the RSI, super overdone, starting to tip over and pull back on the daily, and maybe some cracks here on the weekly. It's bananas. All of these, hey, retire on Palantir, retire on Palantir. Yeah, you're saying that now because it's going up, bananas for a couple months. Okay, but if you weren't in it, now's not the time to retire on Palantir. Okay, be smart, let it pull back. Great company. I still think it's a good company, but I want it lower. I don't want it at 60, 70, or 80 up in here. It could be wrong. Maybe it goes to 3,000. Who knows? But I'm going to be a little bit short right here as a trade. Okay, even though I believe in the company, it's just overdone. All right, let's keep moving on, and I want to touch base really quickly on a few other things with you, and one is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin pulled back pretty good today, pulled back over 4,000 points. So we hit the 100,000 level the other day. Okay, and then couldn't hold it. Then we broke it on Friday, and then today we gave it all back and dropped all the way back down to 97.6. So having trouble with that $100,000 level. Okay, it's all good. Let's see what happens. The weekly chart looks pretty overdone. The daily chart looks like it's starting to roll over. I think you just give it a little bit of time. I'm very bullish on Bitcoin, very bullish. I see 200 to 250. 250,000 that is, within the next 12 to 18 months. I think this thing doubles again in the next 18 months or more. I think you've got a great SEC nomination from Trump in the coming. You got Trump in the White House as well, bullish on Bitcoin, the strategic reserves. You got everybody and their brother trying to copy Michael Saylor and his convertible debt instruments to buy more. You got Mara doing it. You got Riot doing it now. They're all copying that. You've also got Tesla, who's a giant owner of Bitcoin. And now you're starting to see other companies. I think it was Amazon. I think it was Amazon today, shareholders saying that they want to see more Bitcoin on the books. Okay, you're going to start to see that from shareholders, which I think is going to explode this thing even more. Let's let it rest. Let's get it to move sideways a bit. And then be ready for the next. And we did a poor man's covered call on the IBIT ETF today. I'll share that with you. So a lot of stuff to share today. So there's Bitcoin. MicroStrategy, pretty good continued sell-off. Now this thing ran up. It was ridiculous. Pulled back. Just kind of moved its way sideways. And now, again, selling off more. Back to the 21-day moving average. Oversold a bit with the the stochastic momentum, but you're not down at the bottoms where I think it should be yet on RSI, and the weekly RSI is still overbought and now heading lower. So this thing could have some more pullback to go. I don't know if technical levels really matter a whole lot. I think the value of this thing is around 200. Okay. So that's where I'm playing around, is in the 200 pool. Maybe this thing gets back to 250. Maybe it fills this gap down here to 280 and then keeps going. Who knows? But I certainly think 300 is in the picture. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think if you like, this high volatility play, it's an opportunity. Multi-leveraged ETF, essentially, even though it's a stock, that has basically nothing else going for it. The software part of this company is nothing. Okay, but if you want a Bitcoin play that's a leveraged play, I think this is it. So I think we keep trading it. I've been selling calls naked. I've been selling puts naked. Either way, you've been winning because you had an IVR of 120 and now it's back to like 45. Okay, so all of that vol crush really helped us, and we booked a ton of profit. All right, so there's the majority of everything I wanted to cover today. Let's cover two more things in here. I don't even know where I put them. But I want to make sure that from a trade standpoint today, I cover everything that I opened trades on. So we did cover IBIT, we've covered Palantir, we've covered NVDA, SMCI is the next one. I'm bullish on this stock. Okay. I, I hated it with all these accounting regularities. I was out, not touching this thing. But now that they seem to have a decent accounting company out there who's looked at everything and seems to think that everything's in order, they've got an extension with the NASDAQ to improve their accounting, to keep their listing going. And huge customer, great product, better than Dell, in my opinion, liquid cooled versus versus what Dell does. I also think this is better than AMD. I think this is better than a lot of stocks out there. I think you have a decent deal on your hands. I think this is a $70 value, and I think you're sitting at 50, 44, 50 in that range right now. I think it's a great opportunity. I don't think you should go all in, mortgage your house for it, but we're certainly playing it, and we played it again today with a new trade. So I'll talk about what we did with SMCI, NVIDIA. I've already touched base on Palantir, but I'll give you those trades, IBIT as well today. So all of those good good trade opportunities. I think so. Again, they're trading, okay, not necessarily investments, but while the market's overdone here, you find some of those nuggets and you trade around it with some of that spec trade money, and we covered how much of that we use as well in our portfolios when we outlined our portfolios with you. All right, so that's enough of that. Let's get to updating the numbers if we can. So let's update the numbers and I'll share the trades and then we'll wrap it up for you today. All right, so this is the Lazy Trader account. Have not updated the numbers, so let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's make sure these numbers are all correct in the Tasty Trade platform. All right, and let's update them for the day. So Delta today, 850. So Delta increased today. We did add a handful of long trades. Our Theta also just hung out in there because we sold off and closed a bunch of winners today. Net value today dropped a fraction, 393, 877. Buying power, 255, 491. So buying power did get a little bit reduced before we added a bunch of trades on there. Bill, still a solid part of this account. No changes there. 21,793. That's about right. So, and then we booked today realized profits of $4,333. If we look at that, that was all MicroStrategy today. So we closed three trades here in total. These three trades totaled up over over $4,000. So $4,333. Closed all of those for winners. If you look down here, it is a lot of winners. We rarely have a loser in this account. So this account's been running great. And you can see value-wise, another $4,300. So we have booked now for this month, we've booked $7,118, and it's only the ninth. So $7,000 booked, realized gains in this account. And our net lick continues to just motor higher as we go. So this account's doing great. Let's look at the income Navigator account. This is the trade account, so a lot more risk involved, trading mostly futures, ES, ZB, CL, all the rest. This one is at 484 on the Delta. So Delta's perfect. Where we are, our Theta, 783. So we dropped Theta today, but we did close some trades, so we'll talk about that. Net lick ended up at 370.067. Okay, so just down a couple $100. On that BP usage, 201, 145. Okay, 201, 145. So that did drop as well. And our bill in this account, okay, which is our Treasury ETF, 34,338. So yeah, pretty much right. Daily realized gains today, $3,225. What was that? You can see that today. Oh, I didn't completely fill everything. So that was a naked put from one of our long-term 112 trades. It was actually a long-term 111 trade. So we booked $33,225 in 80 days in that account. Let's take a quick look here because we did close out this 6A today. So we'll actually be adding to this. Let's see on the um, opening price. Okay, what did we close for? I know we closed for 50% winner today, but let's just double check where we are on this. The 6A 63. Sorry, I didn't do this ahead of time, but let's just do it now. 0.0008. Can't even see that. That's so small, but that one. And then on these, we took in 0.0045 minus 0.0034. Okay, I think this is correct. Should be minus 0.0011. See if these are right, and it doesn't seem exactly right. P&L. That was definitely wrong. So hang on. If you get it's the 100,000 multiplier. I know it's exciting to watch me do this, but that was our initial trade. P&L. We got to change this to the 100,000 multiplier. Okay, made $500 on this thing today. So all in all, $500, not too shabby on this. I believe that should be correct. So wins on both the put credit spread or the put debit spread and wins on the naked puts. This was not a CLPDS. This was a futures PDS and a futures 112. There we go. All right, so that works out. Yeah, $500 is right. So 37.25 now in realized gains for the day. So great, good stuff here. And then lastly, well, let's update the Vega minus 3832. Love it. So our Vega, lowest Vega that we have had in this account in weeks, if not months. So I love the setup, love where we are on this trade. Let me give you any new trades in here, and that trade would be, and you can see all my trades here, so I'm sharing them with you. But you can see right here at the top, the only trade in this account today was gold. This is our put spread, the 25.40, 25.35 for 60 cents. So we opened that up for $900 on margin of a little over 3,000. Okay. It's a 29 and a half, almost 30% margin. We're going to be not holding it till 100% expiration, so we'll see what happens with that. But overall, we're in pretty good shape with that. So you've got all of our trades on. Tried to get into a new strangle today on ZB. That did not fill. So looks like that'll just expire and we'll move on. Now let's talk about the Lazy Trader account. Now we did update this account already, But let's take a look at and we already know what we closed, but let's look at what we opened today. And I'm going to share these trades with you. If you can't see, you can play this back and slow it. Now you can see all of my trades on here, so it's all good. Okay, so Palantir, okay, call spread. I did the 95-100 call spread. I think this thing's overvalued, overdone, a big bearish engulfing candle. We're just setting it up for a trade to the downside. So we did that for January 17th. And all of these are right around inauguration day. So I'm getting out by inauguration on some of these new trades. SMCI, we talked about that. We did a put credit spread today, so a PCS today. We did the 30-25 for 43 cents. We also did NVDA. We did a put credit spread. The 120-115 for 42 cents was added today. So those were all added today. We added a new SPY leap today. Okay. So a new SPY leap, which we do every single Monday. We also added a new SPY put spread, which we've been doing kind of sporadically on and off. But I'll explain that one more. If you're a member, it's all in there for you. And then we did add a poor man's covered call on IBIT. So we bought the May 16th call for next year at 45, and then we sold the 62 put for January 3rd, which is 25 days out. So we spent about $3,000 for the long calls, and we took in $320 on the naked code. So it's a 10% return in this particular account. So a 10% return if we go to the full expiration on that, which the goal is to get at least 90% or more on this one, or let it expire worthless. So hopefully this was helpful to you, gave you a bunch of trades, shared some things with you. If you want to see what we're doing live in the Discord, you can get these trades live. You can see the reasoning behind all of these trades. We manage everything live there, share every single trade with you. If you just like hanging out on YouTube here, I hope it's helpful to you. You get to see what trades I'm in. I just want to give you an idea of what I'm doing. If it's helpful to you and you get some ideas, fantastic. If you don't like it, it's all good. Don't be a hater. Just go away. Okay. If you want to watch and then you think, oh, you know what, this guy's terrible, or he's this or that, it's all good. Just go. Okay. I'm all good with it. Okay. And if you want to leave hate mail, knock yourselves out. I'll probably just remove you anyway. So this is no way to live, just hating on people and hiding out there. Most of you don't share any trades that have negative comments. You don't share anything that anybody can get out of there. You just like to say negative things out there. Knock yourselves out. But if you got good value out of this, drop your comments in there. Let me know that this has been helpful to you, or something else that you'd love to see. If you like this video, give me the thumbs up. Help me share it out there on YouTube. Somebody will find something in here that you can take away from. You've got futures trades, you've got stock trades. I'm doing everything from 112 trades and put credit spreads to poor man's covered calls to naked puts to leaps, call leaps, put leaps. It doesn't matter. Okay? Use whatever works for you. Find what makes sense for you. Okay? None of these trades are brand new trades that no one's ever thought of. No, these are trades that have been around for hundreds of years. You just got to know when to put them on, how to use them right. Okay. And you can make good living for yourself. But you got to first educate yourself, understand how to put these trades on, when to put these trades on, which trades to put on. And if you can do that, you're going to be in great shape. You're going to lose some. I've lost some. I've lost tons before. Okay. There's been years where I've had huge down years. Okay. Had a big loss in August of this year due to Volmageddon. Got most of that back already. Okay. It's all good. We win some, we lose some, we get smarter, we adapt, we evolve, we figure out something new. And again, what's new is not a whole lot. What's new is just figuring out what people, are doing, and you know what? There is a trade like that. There's a trade I like. You know what? That makes sense for me. You got to find what works for you. And when you do, if it fits your lifestyle, fits your trading style, fits your risk management profile, okay, then look to trade. Okay, figure out, is that trade going to be good long term? Do your work, do your homework, do your research on it. Figure out if that's going to work for you. okay, and then put it into your arsenal, okay, and get good at it and learn. All right. Hopefully this was helpful to you. You guys take care. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.